And joining us now on line one is the MHA for Mount Pearl South, Mr. Paul Lane. Good evening, sir.
Pete, how are you doing tonight?
Pretty good, and yourself?
Great, Pete, great. Pete, before I get to my topic, I just want to, first of all, I just left Masonic Park, actually. They have an annual tree lighting event up there, ceremony for the seniors.
Yep.
And this is the 14th year. And I just want to throw out a bouquet to the Gower Street Band. Edsel Bonnell and is the bandmaster and the band up there. They've been there for all 14 years. And I tell you, if you go up there and you see you see the smiles on the seniors' faces and everything when they play, I'll tell you what, do you the world of good. And they're really making a difference. So I want to throw the bouquet to them for being such wonderful volunteers in our community.
Fantastic. Tell me, what kind of lights have they got on? What do they got under their tree up there?
Oh, they got it all lit up and decorated and everything. Yeah. And of course, there's going to be a number of they have a number of events coming up now over the next number of days. As a matter of fact, we're going to be up there Saturday. I'm going to be up there Saturday with my fellow Kinsman members, and we're having a Christmas party for them. And throughout the next week or so now, there's going to be a whole bunch of things going on. So, it's great that we can do those things for our seniors. And like I said, I just wanted to throw out a special bouquet to the Gower Street Band, like I said, 14 years straight. And this is something that they do not just here every year, but they have a number of different seniors' homes and so on that they go to year after year after year. And I believe Mr. Bonnell said this is actually their 40th year as a band, so I think it's absolutely tremendous, and they certainly deserve all the praise we can give them. Yeah,
I saw them at something else the other night there. They're flat out this time of year. They're go, 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 and I'm sure an awful lot of things wouldn't be the same without them, so good on them. Keep going, guys. Keep picking up new members and keep going. I wanted to,
this was certainly a great day, in my view, and I know of many Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, certainly a very proud evening at the Confederation Building. And, where we're one step closer to having Muskrat Falls come online. And, I did hear Lorraine Michael on earlier. Mm-hmm. And, while I was disappointed with the commentary, I quite frankly wasn't surprised. She's been pretty negative on it the entire time through. But, I just want to say, we heard many objections coming from the opposition and other people in opposition to the project. And that's a good thing. I think there's nothing wrong with raising questions and raising concerns. But, we heard the issue of the North Spur, and that came up certainly a number of times, and it came up at the Nalcor's AGM, which I attended. Mm-hmm. And it was quite clearly stated there that the North Spur issue, the engineering work was done, that it was included in the DG3 numbers, and they're quite comfortable in dealing with the North Spur. Then we heard that we wouldn't get the UARB approval. Well, guess what? We got the UARB approval. Then people said there'd be no customers for our power. And not only, and we're not even going to get the power through Nova Scotia. I mean, we have potential customers in all Atlantic Canada through the eastern seaboard of the United States, but we're not even going to get through that because Nova Scotia wants the power. Mm-hmm. Then we heard we wouldn't get financing. Well, guess what? We had banks lining up to finance the project, and now we're getting the financing. And then, of course, they said we wouldn't get the loan guarantee, and, of course, now today we have the loan guarantee. So, every step of the way when there was people saying, oh, this wasn't going to work, it wasn't going to happen, every step of the way it's happened, and it's what our government has said since day one, and we believe then and we believe now that this is the right project for Newfoundland and Labrador, and in my opinion, it's a great day for our people.
It better happen now. What happens if the court case with Quebec over the water management agreement doesn't go our way?
Well, you know what, it's interesting you should mention that because there was 2 points I heard Lorraine raise. One was the water management agreement, and those questions, by the way, I had to laugh at it to some degree when she comes on, as she did last week, and raises these issues. Those questions were asked in the House of Assembly, and it was quite clearly stated in the House of Assembly that the particular court case that's going forth there now has absolutely nothing to do with the water rights. It has to do with, I can't remember the exact details, it has to do with some agreement that was in place a number of years ago that's being questioned, but either way, it's not going to affect the water rights. It's not going to be an issue for us. Nalcor has a legal team. The province has a legal team. They've looked at it. They've said there's no concern. And that's been said in the House Assembly by the minister on a number of occasions. Also, she raised the issue then about overruns. Well, guess what? overruns, if we had have gone with the isolated island option, you could have overruns there as well. So no matter what option you went with, there's a possibility for overruns. Right now, from the information I have, everything is going well. Everything seems to be, I think Mr. Martin said, where they believe it should be, where they predicted it would be. And, at the end of the day, we also have to remember that it was a $2 billion, would it be, a $2 billion differential between Muskrat Falls and the other options. And that's something that we have to remember. And that was no link and no selling of extra power.
If you accept that we needed the power in the first place.
Well, again, Pete, our experts at Nalcor have determined that we have. Manitoba Hydro confirmed it, and Navigant on top of them, they confirmed as well. So we have our own people who are experts in the field, and we have two independent sets of experts in the field who have confirmed that, yes, we need the power, yes, Muskrat is the low-cost option. And it's interesting that of all the times that we've heard whether it be the NDP or the Liberals come out against it and question all this, we've said, the Premier said time and time again, come forward with your own expert. Come up with one expert. You get one expert who can come up and demonstrate, show us where these predictions in terms of the need for power is wrong. Bring one expert to look at all the options that have been looked at, review the reports, and tell us where Nalcor, Navigant, and Manitoba Hydro are all wrong. Guess what? They never came up with one expert, not one.
Well, they probably need some resources in order to engage them. But in any event, the province has been wrong repeatedly in terms of their projections over the years. I saw that chart where essentially they came up with projections 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago, and in each case, the projection didn't come to fruition.
Well, Pete, you know what? I mean, all I can tell you is, in terms of this particular project, we have experts at Nalcor. That's what they do. They are experts in this field. They have come forward with these projections. These projections have been confirmed by Manitoba Hydro. They have been confirmed by Navigant. The federal government has signed a loan guarantee, so obviously they're very confident in the project as well. Nova Scotia are on board. The federal, Mr. Trudeau, the leader of the Liberals federally, he's come out in favor. Mr. Mulcair has come out in favor. The late Jack Layton came out in favor. So, everybody at Wadelock came out in favor. The Consumer Advocate came out in favor. So, all of these people, all independent of each other, people that are experts in these various fields, have looked at all this. They've said it's a good project for Newfoundland and Labrador, and I'm certainly glad that it's going ahead, and it's a great day for Newfoundland and Labrador for sure. And I'm very proud, and I can walk down the streets with my head held up high that I supported it, and I'm very pleased to do so.
Well, my fingers are crossed with everyone else's that it all turns out the way it's supposed to. Mr. Lane...
sometimes you have the courage, Pete, sometimes you need to have the courage to do the right thing. And that's not always the popular thing. And sometimes there may be some controversy around it. There may be people who may be against it. But that's what you call leadership. That's why people are in leadership positions sometimes, to be able to make the right decision for the people, and even when sometimes you're challenged. If you know it's right, you do your research, you do your homework, and you do what's right. And at the end of the day, I have to live here just like you do. I have children, and one of these days I hope to have grandchildren, not too soon, but I do hope to have grandchildren. And so I have as much personal stake in this as anybody else, and so do the rest of my colleagues in the House of Assembly. So does Mr. Martin and the people at Nalcor.
I'll tell you
we're all in this together, and we're doing it for the right reasons.
I'll tell you a right thing that we should all have courage enough to back, and that is any profit realized through the sale of power elsewhere should come back and help us lower the much increased power bills we're going to have in the future. How about that?
Well, first of all, just let me say, in terms of the increased power bills, again, based on the projections that have been given, if we didn't do Muskrat and we went with another option, the power bills would be even higher.
But what's wrong? What's wrong with taking the profit from this that we're paying for as ratepayers? What's wrong with taking that money?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was going to Nalcor and it wasn't coming back to help us.
No, what the premier said was that once we're in a position that there are profits coming in, then it'll be up to the government of the day, whether that's this government or another form of this government or some other government. It'll be up to the government of the day to decide where those profits go, whether they go on light bills.
Well, obviously it's going to be up to whatever government's in there today.
And education, or whether they go into much needed infrastructure, education.
But I'm not talking about future governments. I'm talking about the present government. I'm not talking about future governments. Obviously, future governments can decide what they want to do and how they plan to do it. But I'm talking about the current government, who have clearly come out and said that that's not the plan as of right now. Any profits made out of it are going to Nalcor and not back to help the ratepayer.
Right now, Pete, we don't even have Muskrat Falls. Muskrat Falls is not developed yet. We don't have the power yet.
Even more reason to put it in policy that it's going to be this way, because you can always change it in the future. At least mollify people by saying that, look, any profits realized are going to go back to you, the ratepayer, to help lower your bills.
Well, Pete, again, power bills have been going up anyway. I'm not suggesting that won't be done, or that some portion that might not be done when the time comes regarding whatever government is there. But at the end of the day, we can't, I personally, I don't think you can just make that commitment outright until you understand what your situation is at the time. We're also going to be needing money for things like healthcare and education and all kinds of other things. And you have the base, when profits are coming in, that's when you have to determine where is the best use for that money. And so to totally commit right now today that that's going to happen, I certainly wouldn't be in favor of doing that.
So essentially, if we are, as ratepayers, are paying for this whole project over the next 50 years or something like that, and it's making money, but that money is going into either Nalcor's coffers or coming back to the province and it's being spent on other things, this is essentially just another form of taxation then.
No, we need power, and we have to pay for power.
Yeah,
anyway.
No, but this is money that's left over at the end of the day from the sale of the excess power.
Nalcor has one stakeholder, and that's you and I. That's the people of Newfoundland and Labrador.
It doesn't matter the stakeholder if we can't get our hands on it.
We have to take the money and invest it, and we need to take the money, and we need to do, based on what our needs are at the time, that's where we need to invest that money. And that may very well, it's possible, that may very well, there's all kinds of options when that day comes. That day is not here yet, and it'll be up to the government of the time to decide what happens with that.
Yeah, I just don't see the downside of you folks saying at this point that obviously it makes sense. It seems like the right thing to do, that if any money is made off of this very expensive project that we're all paying for, that at some point it can be brought back and chipped in against the bill. And anyway, sir, listen, we got to go. I appreciate your time. I wanted to ask you, I made that shot about what color lights are because of the lights up and down the Parkway, which I hate to be the party pooper on it, but boy, oh boy, if you're going to have lights up and down the Parkway, which is a great thing, let's make them a little cheery. Those are dull, dim, depressing lights, man. Those are like purple and green lights.
I got to be on. Yeah, Pete, I'll be honest with you now. Just as a personal preference, I like the old-fashioned Christmas lights.
Absolutely.
I'm not fond of those either, but they are energy-efficient lights, and we're trying to set a good example in terms of energy efficiency and so on.
Yeah. Better not to have
again, which is the right thing to do. But I'm with you. I don't personally like the colors. On my personal home, I have the old-fashioned Christmas lights. That's what I have.
That's just.
But anyway, that's me.
Personal pet peeve.
Matter of choice, I guess.
Right on. All right, listen. Thanks again for your time.
All right, Pete. Have a great night.
You too. All the best.
Okay. Bye now.